Swish, swish, bish, another one in the basket. Can't touch this, another one in the casket.
Hey, what's up guys, it is Taiku or Sam here and welcome back to another episode of RPG game tutorial in Unity. Guys, I'm really sorry for not making videos about this series for a very long time now, but I am returning, don't worry, there will be a lot of videos of this series as well. And also, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit the like button down below and also hit subscribe to stay up to tune for new episodes coming soon. And also let me know in the comments if you have any suggestions for any videos you would like to see, and let's get started with this video. So, today we are going to focus on inventory. We are going to create the inventory for the player. And by that, I actually have tested a little bit how I could make it so that I don't, think way too long in the video because I don't want to waste time with that. So I will actually just remove this plane that I had created for as a template. And we will start off basic. So first and foremost, we're going to create a new folder inside of our assets folder. So we just go to folder and then we are going to name these materials. All right. So the name is not very important, but I just want to make sure that we can keep track of where we place our materials. So inside of this folder, we are going to create a new material. There we go. And I'm going to call this inventory background. Okay. And I'm going to create one more material. And this is going to be called inventory slot. Okay. So the inventory background is going to be used, as the name suggests, in the background, like whatever is shown in the background. And we're also going to use inventory slot for the slot objects themselves. So first and foremost, we also want to create a plane. There we go. And let's see. I want to make sure that we use the same rotation for the plane as we use for the camera, but inverted, because we are wanting to tilt the inventory the same way the camera is tilted so that it looks like a wall, so that it doesn't look like we're facing down towards the inventory like we're doing right now. So I want to go to camera. I want to see the rotation X. I want to copy this, go back to plane, and give it the X value. Now, you will see that it's inverted in the wrong direction. Obviously, we want it to be the other side so that we can see the inventory. For that, we just put a minus icon in front of the number there. Alright, so as you can see, it's working properly now. And what I also want to do is I want to add this inventory background material onto it and edit the background material so that we actually have it a little bit dark, so that we can actually see the inventory background clearly. This should be pretty good. Yeah, this is very nice. Alright, for the moment being, this is a very rough example of how the inventory can be, but I will just keep it for the moment. Let's see now. Alright, so this is pretty much done. And what I want to do here is I want to call this inventory. I want to drag and drop it inside of our main camera. And I also want to copy inventory and then paste it so that we actually have one more inventory. Now, this is not going to be an extra inventory, obviously. This is just going to be the slot. I copy and paste because I want to use the same object anyway. There we go. And now you can see that it looks like we have a 3D inventory, which might not really look that good, right? So first and foremost, I'm going to add the inventory slot material to this. There we go. Resize it a little bit. There we go. And now I want to go to my main camera. I want to change the projection to orthographic from perspective. Now it looks like a 2D inventory that we would like it to look like, right? So this is not going to be a permanent change to the camera. We just want it to be for the moment being, so that we can see how our inventory should look. And also this is going to be the projection style that we're going to use when we actually enter our inventory, which we'll get into as soon as we start coding. So now that we have a slot here, I actually want to rename this to slot. There we go. I want to, okay, so let's do like this. We are going to copy, or perhaps we could just, let's just drag slot into inventory, okay? So we just drag slot into inventory, we copy slot, paste it, place it as we want it to look. There we go. So we just move these for the moment as we want it to look in form of a design inside of our inventory. Like that. I need to be very careful with these because I almost have OCD, so I want to make sure that everything looks perfect. There we go. Okay, so we just do this. We just repeat this for the amount of inventory slots we could have. We could do this by code too, but it would be very useless for this RPG game that we're creating. But if you would want me to show you how to generate these slots, I can definitely make a tutorial video of that too. I already made it for my own as a survival engine pro. It should not be a trouble at all. So now that we have all our slots, which is 25 different slots, right? So I want to move these into the middle of our screen, like that, so that it looks a little bit more organized, right? So we can go to the inventory slot material and edit this a little bit so that we can actually, let me just decrease smoothness, so that we have a different color for this too, so that it doesn't stick out way too much from the background. I think that kind of gray looks really good, especially considering the darkness of the background image or the plane. So this is fine. I'm happy with this. Let's see. Okay, so first and foremost, we can also change back the camera from orthographic to perspective. And now I want to create my script for inventory and for the slots. So what I will do here is I will go to create the scripts folder, and then I create a new C# script and call this inventory. I will also create one more script and call this one slot. Or perhaps we should call it slots. I don't know. Well, whatever. We can keep the name for the moment being. It doesn't really matter. So, let's see. Okay, so I wonder if let's drag the inventory script onto our player. Okay, like that. And then we just go a little bit up so that we have the player up here. And now, okay, it is added, cool. So now we just highlight all of our slots, okay? And now we click on add component, and then we pick the slot script that we created, which will add the slot script to every single one of these slots that we created. So 25 instances, right? So now we can unfold this and open up the inventory script to begin with. There we go. It's going to just prepare its stuff. It just requires doing that. All right. Let's see here. Okay, so this is the enemy script. And now I want to remove these two lines like that. All right. And as I always do with my scripts for tutorials, I will throw in a comment called variables. This will be the section for variables. And then jump down a little bit and say functions. Okay, so the functions and the variables sections. I think I called the functions. Okay, it was called the function section. Great. I just wanted to make sure that I don't confuse you guys. All right, so now first and foremost, I want to say bool inventory enabled. All right, and then instead of our functions, we're going to say void start. For the moment, we're not going to use that. Void update, however, is going to be interesting for us. So we're going to say enabling the inventory. Okay, so now we're going to say if input.getKey down key code.I, which is going to be the key we're going to use for the inventory. Obviously, you can edit this key to whatever you want. Oops, that's wrong. There we go. And now there we go. Okay, so the key code I can be changed to whatever key you want to use for your game, but I'm going to use I, and we're going to say inv enable or inventory enabled true. All right. We're going to jump down a little bit in void update, and we're going to say if, or up here, if inventory enabled equals true, or we could actually just skip this part and say inventory enabled. Then we're going to say enable, or yeah, we're going to use the statement that we're going to enable the actual inventory. So first and foremost, we want to go back to variable section and say public game object inventory. Perhaps we can call this with uncapitalized I. There we go. And now we're going to say inventory set active true, right? Else we're going to set it active false, but inventory dot set active false. All right, so basically it's very simple. We just check for input from the keyboard from the player, which is going to be the I key. If we do, we are going to set inventory enabled true, which is wrong because we want to say inventory enabled is equal to exclamation mark inventory enabled. And this is basically because it is now going to switch between these two statements. So inventory enabled true, inventory enabled false, and vice versa. And then in here, we just simply check for is inventory enabled. In case that's true, we just set it active, or else we set it false, or set it not to be active, I guess. All right, so that's pretty much it. Now I can go to Unity, open up our player, and inside of our inventory, we're going to drag and drop the inventory object that we had created. Let's see here. I want to test this out, but yeah, let's try it out and see how it goes. If that works, yeah, pretty good. Now we also have to change the camera from being perspective to orthographic. So we're going to set it here. Oh yeah, we don't have the, okay, so we need to create a new public game object, main or player camera. And then we're going to say player camera.get component camera, parenthesis, orthographic is equal to true. Let's see if that works. Camera does not contain, it does not. I thought it was a part of the, I might have spelled it wrong. Orthographic. Oh yeah, I did spell it wrong. There we go. So basically this is setting the player, we're getting the component camera from the camera object that we just referred to. And we're saying orthographic mode is going to be true. And then in here, we obviously set it to false so that we change it back to normal, so that the game doesn't look 2D all the time. Now we can go back to player and we can drag in the main camera as a player camera field. There we go. And now let's try this one more time to make sure that everything works. All right, great. It looks fine. Now we can open up the slot script. Let's see here. All right. And now we can say the same logic here. So we just say comment line. We're throwing in a comment saying variables, and then one more called functions, so that we have these sections here. And now I want to say public static bool highlighted or selected. All right. And then we also have public static bool item, or we should maybe say used. I don't know, that's pretty much a bad name, but we will basically use it to check if it contains any items. And then we'll say, maybe we can call this free, but nah, let's stay it used. Okay, just make it easier for ourselves. I don't know, is there anything more? We could also set it to public texture to the image, I guess. I'm not really sure of the names, but yeah. So now we'll set public or void start. There we go. Void update. There we go. Now let me just drag inventory here. There we go. I want to make sure that we are checking for if the enemy, or what am I saying? If the camera is actually checking for, if the mouse position is basically hitting any slots. We're going to use the same logic here. Let me just, okay. I think we could actually create this inside of our void start. Let me drag this up in void start. There we go. I'll also go back to Unity just to try and make sure that it doesn't player plane. Okay. We just copy this, paste it up here. So we just say plane, player plane, and then we say disable this. There we go. Go back to Unity. We play the game and make sure that we can still move with the character. Okay, that works. Just making sure that we optimize the code. This was actually something that some viewer of mine actually pointed out to me, so thank you if you're watching the video. we're going to, like I said, we're going to use the same logic as we used here. So we can start off by creating a new array. I don't remember why we used Unity Engine. I think it was because it was bugging out. But we can pretty much say the same thing here. So we'll just go back to, we can say it into our inventory, I guess. Alright, so we are actually going to use a little bit of modified version of this code that we actually used from the beginning. So we're basically going to say, here we go. We can just say detecting mouse. Or perhaps we can just say detecting slots, okay? Alright, so we're basically going to say, let's see. We can first and foremost say ray is equal to camera.main.screen screen point to ray, I think it was, and then input.mouse position, there we go. And we can also say raycast hit. Alright, so first and foremost, we're obviously creating a ray which is going to be shot from the main camera, and we're also having a raycast hit object, or the prefab itself, which will simply check if we're hitting something. And by using the hit, we're going to say if physics.raycast ray out hit. Alright, and we can say if hit.transform.name, I think this should work, slot. We're obviously just going to make it simpler, easier later, but at first I just want to make a simple explanation to check if it's actually working. Print colliding with plus hit.transform.name. Alright, let's see if this works. Let's go back to Unity and let's make sure that we actually had the name correct here. Slot. Alright. Okay. So we were checking, yeah. Okay, let's go into the game and see if it works. So we just enable inventory. Yeah, it's working. So it's saying colliding with slot when we actually have when we hover up with the mouse there. Alright. So now we can actually just make it a little bit easier for ourselves. So we go back to Unity, we highlight all these slots, and we click on tag, slot. I don't really think this is going to, oh, what's happening here? Oh, wow. I didn't even know you could actually do this. I didn't know you could remove all the name for every object. Let's undo until we get back to names. There we go. Alright, we can go back to tag and then we just tag it as slot. Alright, so that's pretty much it. I think I still want to use the name, however, just to make sure that we don't make a mistake, but I can still see if it works this way too. Let's go to Visual Studio. I want to say if this works. So we just say if hit transform tag is equal to slot, then we say print colliding with hit.transform.name. Like I said, I just want to test if this works. If it does work, it's so much easier for us. If it doesn't work, I need to find another solution. Yeah, it's working fine. So as you can see, 22, 23, 24, we should be 25, but once again, this is 0. So yeah, this is working. Very, very nice. All right. So now we can actually say, we create a new public static game object, slot hovered, or maybe slot selected, slot hovered. Yeah, let's say hovered. Slot hovered is equal to hit.transform. Oh, we should say hit.game object. Yeah, it only works with, okay, so let's go back to here and say transform instead of game object. There we go. And now we can say slot hovered is equal to, or well, we actually set the prefab, so now we can just simply get all the components from it, which are these variables and the ones that we will keep on creating. And this is simply because we want to see which of the slots are going to take the next item, if we can select this slot, if it does have an item that we can actually throw away, if it has an item we can actually equip or something like that, you know. So basically we have to check whatever slot is actually being hit for the moment being. I also want to have a visual representation in the game, so I think I will do like this. I think I'll just change the color. So we will go back and inventory will be enabled, or we will enable the inventory. We will go to our materials folder, create a new material, call this inventory slot selected, okay? And this color is going to be quite dark. We can actually implement this into one of our slots just to make sure that we see the visuals. All right, there we go. Okay, so that should be fine. Now we can drag back the material there, and we will see here. We will go back to our variable section inside of our inventory script and create a new, let's see, public material, or I will create this a little bit below. So we just say public material selected slot met, right? So now we will say slot hover dot material, or render, I think it was render dot material is equal to selected slot mat. I will see if this works. Oh, it's obsolete now. Use get component render. All right, slot hover dot get component renderer dot material. Okay, and okay, so we actually have to do this from the slot script, I think, because or else we're not going to have an easy time doing this. So what we're gonna do is we're going to go to slot. We're going to say void update selected. Yeah, we'll do like this: slot hover dot get component slot. What was it called? Selected. All right, is equal to true. That's what I meant. Actually, if this works, the other one should work as well. I'm stupid. But we just have to, let's see here. I don't know if this is going to work. It's a bad practice, but I will try it. Oh my gosh, I hate Visual Studio for this. There we go. We just copied, or it was copied, and we just say normal slot mat. And for this, we obviously have to create a new variable. So we just say public material normal slot mat. All right. So we go to Unity. We where is it? We go to player, and inventory slot, boom, normal slot, and then select the slot mat, boom, inventory slot selected. Let's see if this works. Oh wow. Oh yeah, it does work. Pretty nice. I actually was not sure if this would work, which is stupid, but I wasn't. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Why did we get this error here? CS39. Here, slot hovered. Why did we have this error? I don't get it. We will disable inventory from the beginning once again. There we go. Go back to play the game. Enable inventory. Oh, I see. Okay, so we just simply say, we cut this and say if slot hovered, then we add this. All right, so we can go back and see if it still throws the same error. It should not. Yeah, okay. So it's basically the fact that why we were getting that error, guys, is basically because we were not checking for if slot hovered, which is a transform, it's a public static transform, if it was actually filled with any data or if it was completely null, basically empty. And when it was empty, it wouldn't find the object we were referring to, which is here. So it was trying to set the material for a non-existent object, which we didn't have. So basically we just fixed it. I don't know, I feel like this is pretty much it for this video. In the next video, or in the next part, we're going to basically create the systematic for picking objects and all that. So that should be good. Anyway guys, I hope you all enjoyed this video and this episode of RPG tutorial making in Unity. And if you did, make sure to click the like button down below to show some support on the video, and also hit the subscribe button if you want to stay up to date for new videos coming soon, like a new episode of this series. And I will set a like goal of 75 likes in one day. So if you can reach that, that would be amazing. And I also have some game jams coming up this next weekend, I think. I will see when I can actually find time for that, but it should be next weekend for what I know right now. But anyway, leave a comment down below stating what you want to see in the next video. And also if you have any tips and tricks, if you have any feedback or if you just want to say hi or continue the memeing of this channel. If you watch my previous second video, you should know about the meme. But anyway, like I said, thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the comments. See you guys, peace out, bye bye.
Another one in the basket.